Today, what I want to speak to you about is an important subject, something that we need to give attention to. When you engage in a course of action, it's imperative that you understand where you are, where you want to go, and how to get there. And that understanding must be totally clear. Otherwise, you'll be all over the place. Otherwise, you would not be able to understand what is the purpose of this, where am I going, how do I do this. Notice in everything that you've learned, you've tried to understand it carefully and clearly before you engaged, or should have. And the more clear it becomes to you, the more deeply you understand it, the more efficiently you can conduct it. I have a passion for understanding. That little biblical statement never left my mind when I read it. Wisdom is the greatest thing. Therefore, with all thy getting, get understanding. In all the Hindu ceremonies, they choose the deity, Ganesh, Sri Ganesh, to honor. Why? Ganesha is the god of wisdom. One of the principal mantras of the Hindus, the Gayatri, is a prayer to the internal light, to the infinite consciousness that is the source of all light, to illumine the mind. Gayatri comes from the Vedas, the ancient holy book of the Hindus. And in the Upanishads, book of wisdom, conversation, contemplation, there's the prayer, Asatoma Sadgamaya. Lead me from the illusion to the reality. I want to see, I want to understand. It's a prayer to come out of the ignorance. Tamasoma, tamas is ignorant. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Let me come to the light of knowledge, the light of wisdom rather. Mrityurma amritam gamaya. Take away this consciousness of mortality because I'm thinking I'm going to die. Huge illusion. Death is. And we have a whole society that's built around the morbidity of death. No one dies. No soul dies. Of course, when we are so focused on the material world and everything we measure is about materialism, we are trying in our own crude ways to measure the other side, the subtle world. But how can you measure that with the instruments, the human instruments that we have? You might get a little fallout of vibration. But inside there is a whole different field. You need astral senses to see that field. And that field, how you measure something that is infinite? What are you going to use to measure it? So when you're making a journey in the subtle world, when you're making a journey in the consciousness field, you need to really understand where you're going, what you're doing. And the best way to understand that is to listen carefully to the enlightened masters, not the half-baked ones, the enlightened masters. Enlightened masters are the ones who are what we may consider beyond the ego. You can see it. In the mantra Guru Sakshat Purapram, they are transcendent consciousness. They are beyond the duality, beyond the material world. So with all that getting, as the Bible says, get understanding. Try to have a clear idea of where you're going, what you are, not who you are, what you are. You're no gender, what you are. You are infinite consciousness. And you think that you are making a journey. This journey is about waking up. This journey is no travel, it's a waking up. It's a dream that you are in, an illusory dream that is created by energy. Energy, hallucinations, imaginations. You're in a dream. You're in a dream. Waking up is the answer. Waking up. If someone is dreaming and they're having a terrible time, what are you going to do? Get into their dream and help them? No. Shake them up, shake them up, shake them up. Take them out of it. We're in the dream of birth and death and pleasure and pain and all the rest. Waking up is the solution. Waking up. What do you think happened to me? I woke up. I know I'm awake in a dream. The dream is still happening, but I'm awake. How do you think Buddha got the name? It means the awakened one. And all the conversations that masters have, all the wisdom that we put in books and big piles of books and libraries, from the statements they have made, it's all based on being awake. It's all based on being awake. So in all my conversations, I'm trying to shake you up. I'm trying to wake you up. Because what I'm seeing is so different. I don't know how to tell you how to see that. I'm using crude ways. Okay, focus on the spinal column. Okay, you have 6 centers around there and 7 centers in the brain. What does it mean to you? Unless you sit down, you begin to explore and experiment without imaginations. Seek to center. And you do that, as I have said, by seeing more, looking inside, witnessing, and beginning to experience more and more as you center inside, not being caught. The whole idea in the yoga is called pratyahara. You have to withdraw from the sensory experiences. You have to withdraw. If you don't withdraw, what are you going to see? All you're going to see is the imagination, the food, the pleasure, the acquisitions. That's all that you're going to see. Unless you don't withdraw from this sensory world, the dream world, and come into another space and hold their attention that this is not real. Tamasoma jyotirgamaya. Take me away from this ignorance. This is not real. Asatoma. This is asat. This is illusion. So don't get excited about reading the mystical books. Work them by going inside, by centering. Not believing in anything. Test everything. Don't become a believer, gullible, and then you're preaching it. No. I invite you every time into the experience. I invite you every time into the experience. I try to pull you into that space. Doesn't matter where you are. Once you give some attention to me, I'm in your field. And I'm going to pull you inside. I'm not this shell. I moved the shell. I'm not this that you see. This is human. This is perishable. I shine in and through this. I bring shine to the eyes. I bring beauty to the voice. I bring strength to the voice, but it comes from another world. The same world that you exist in. When I look at my world every day, I see the sleep. I see the different degrees of glowing and radiance of the Spirit. And I pray for my world. When will you wake up? When will you wake up, my people? When will you wake up? In the Sanskrit, you say, Jago, Jago. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Don't waste a lifetime. The moment you center inside, magic happens. Magic happens. You begin to see a beautiful play of energy and consciousness. And when you learn how to be in that dream play, when you know how to act in that dream play, how to sport in that dream play, life becomes beautiful. It's no longer events of change. Now you're in the place of stillness, changelessness, playing with change. You become the wizard, the alchemist. That's the goal. What can I teach you that is more? Once you get to the center of being, the details will unfold. Once you get to the center of being, everything will be understood. In the Upanishad, the father who was wise sent his son to learn, because that was the custom of the day. Go to the Gurukul and learn. Son came back, shining with knowledge. Father, I've learned. The father knew that it was just one level on the path. Father said, have you learned that, son, which if you know everything? The son was totally floored. Father, I don't understand what you're saying. Have you learned that, which if you know everything? That which is the source of everything. He says, Father, I'm totally confused. And then the father taught him. If you put salt in water and you taste the water, you don't see the salt, but it's inside there. You take a seed from a tree. The father sent him to the banyan tree. Get the pod. Open the pod, what do you see? Open the seed, what do you see? I see nothing, Father. Well, inside of that seed came that whole tree. From what you don't see came the whole tree. That subtle essence in that seed, that is what you need to know. What is the subtle essence in your being that created all of this? What is the subtle essence of the universe that created the whole universe? What is inside there that is invisible? Know it, son, know it. Know that Shvetaketu, the father said. That's what we need to know. What lies inside it that's invisible. How do you find the invisible? You have to catch it. It's an experience. You have to shift the consciousness to get to it. So we're all like get understanding. In all your meditations, seek to center in that place where you can see more within your being. When you come around Vasudeva or any soul who lives in a deeper consciousness, close your eyes and go inside. It's in the inner world. You connected Vasudeva in the inner space. Don't be fooled by what you see on the outside. What is in Vasudeva, what expresses in and through Vasudeva, comes from the center of being. Go there. When I met my Guru Baba Muktananda, that was the challenge I had. I tried to look at him, I tried to go and touch him. It didn't work. It just didn't work. Because the 2 years before, all I knew was energy and Kundalini. Finally, I decided, none of this. This is stressful. I closed my eyes in his presence. And I said, let me listen to him. And when I listened to that voice was so deep. I was more attracted to go into that experience of where that voice was coming from. And then a whole new experience happened inside there. I began to feel this energy inside of my being so deep. He was so deep. He was so deep. And I'm thinking, oh my God, that's where I want to be. That's where I want to be. I want to know that. I want to experience that. Because when I saw him move, he was always in flow. I never saw human, I saw flow. And it became my sole desire to experience the space that he demonstrated. And as grace would have it, I uncovered it. You can too. You can too. The Master is within you. The infinite is within you. Truth is within you. It's not in the material world. The material world is only a manifestation of the inner. And the Father was trying to explain to his son. Don't be fooled by the visible world. Don't be fooled by the asset. Wake up from the dream. Wake up from the dream. I try to shake you up continuously. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. So that's my Sunday's message to you. I don't know how much you will appreciate it, but that's my Sunday's message to you. So I want to thank you, and I want to wish all of you a happy Sunday. Life is incredible if you view it from the center of being. And a tremendous challenge if you decide to stay in ignorance. Seek wisdom. Have a blessed day, everyone. Namaskar.